Alright, let's go and...
Hello. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
Oh, it is you who arrested Dr. Asili.
Exactly.
Excellent. We will have lots to do if we want the doctor to pay. The accused has a lot of support. Any evidence and testimonies you can gather.
We'll have no problem gathering witnesses. His laboratory cells were full of them.
We will call them to the witness box, of course. But be aware that if the victims are natives, their words will unfold.
There were also some noughts. Perhaps I could convince them.
Their testimony will be crucial. The word of other scholars is likely to be the only thing. That plus any material evidence you can gather.
I picked up a strange powder in the laboratory. A substance that I've not been able to identify.
You should show it to an alchemist. We need to know what it is to be able...
These documents describe Dr. Asili's work, as well as the horrible
Perfect. I will read them in detail. We will no doubt find something to...
I have found a letter proving that Dr. Asili voluntarily transmitted the Malachor to my cousin. I would like to add that I too was a victim of this.
Did the accused try to take the life of the governor of New Serene? This is an extremely serious crime.
Indeed. He saw my cousin and me as the ideal control group to prove his theories. And no humanitarian or diplomatic consideration could put a stop to his ambition.
This letter alone is crucial proof. I will put it on our file.
Do we have any chance of winning?
Yes, I am rather confident. You have provided overwhelming evidence. But if we had witnesses, we would have an even bigger chance of...
I will return to you soon. The Naughts should be at the port, and the islanders had to take refuge in Vikshadir. As for the scientists, they said they would go back to the governor's laboratory. I should give this powder to someone who can tell me what it is.
Desade, I'm happy to see you. Can I do anything for you?
I would like you to tell me about Asili.
I was expecting you to come and see me about this. What would you like to know?
Were you aware of Dr. Asili's experiments?
In part, yes. That's why I chose not to be his student.
Why not say anything?
Because I never thought he would go so far. Over time, I found his approach brutal. As if by meeting the natives it deprived him of all humanity. He spoke of them as test subjects, never as people. But there was a time when he was the greatest doctor and scientist in the Alliance. And I clung on.
You do know that you were captured thanks to him?
Yes, but I thought the natives wanted to trade us merely as prisoners. I was blind. And...
Do you think, as your master does, that science justifies all sacrifices?
No. I may have believed that at one time, without of course ever imagining that we'd resort to such cruel treatment. But Dunkus, you and Siora have opened my eyes to the limits of science. To worship it as we do in the Alliance does not make us...
In your opinion, were the horrors practiced in this laboratory necessary?
No, even if he was convinced of it. General interest outweighs the suffering. He wanted results quickly, to the point of neglecting slower, more human. I hope we'll succeed in ensuring these experiments.
Would you be willing to testify against Dr. Asili during his trial?
Of course. I was going to talk to you about... I want to convince my colleagues that we must give up these... And even if it costs me dearly, I want anything else.
What did you think about that moment next to the campfire with the elders of Vigigador?
It was strange, and a bit frustrating, to be honest. What about you? How did...
It was peculiar and mysterious. It was as if we were observing a game. However, it seems to me that we learned a few things.
This is true. In my opinion, knowledge should be shared. That's why I'm so impatient. But your attitude is wiser. I will ponder the question. Anything else?
Did you have any fellow students?
Of course. We were but a small group working with Dr. Vasily, but we were encouraged not to get too close to each other. It was more of a competition. Why? What's on your mind?
I wondered if you didn't feel alone at times.
Do you mean intimate relationships? I had a few here and there, but that did not change how lonely I felt. Body and mind have different needs, even though for some they seem to be one and the same. Anything else?
How did you feel when we visited the cave?
Astonishment, I think. I felt as if I had reached my goal, as if I was finding. It was strangely moving, I think.
It was a moving moment indeed. And I was happy to...
I am also happy I have found someone to share these discoveries with. When I'm with you, I feel as if I'm learning differently, and I'm very grateful to you for that. Anything else?
What do you think of the love that unites those young people? It really seems as if they share something special.
It's true. I don't think I've ever stumbled upon two people that were so close to one another. On the continent, where everything is political, it only happens in fairy tales.
Do you ever think that you could become that close to someone?
To be honest, no. Not before I saw this young couple.
What about now?
I do not like to lose myself in vain, but for some time now, I've begun to think that such sharing of anything else.
Do you think that attending this ceremony has changed your world vision?
Yes, obviously. Before it, I was so focused on my own knowledge. This ritual made me understand the power of sharing, of emotions, and of the bonds between people. This new vision gives me new perspectives. A whole new life is ahead of me.
I hope I'll be lucky enough to be by your side.
We share amazing memories now. A bond has been created between us two, and I can't imagine this new life without anything else.
Tell me about your studies with Dr. Asili.
He was not always mad, you know. He was a renowned doctor back in Al-Sad. His unusual methods saved many lives, and I was very proud to be amongst his students. He taught me a lot. He was a great teacher. He was strict and severe, but he always pushed us to do our best. It's only when I joined him on the island that I understood that there was something wrong. He seemed changed and completely obsessed with the Malachor. He was so shaken by that, he no longer showed any restraint. Such a waste. For the natives he massacred.
I'm under the impression that you've not learned as many things as you wanted by observing Duncas's...
That's true. I hoped to discover the physical or alchemical mechanism, but instead, I don't know. I think I now the links that connects them and the power of their culture. I wonder if this couldn't become another subject for study. If I said that in Al-Sad, people would think I've gone mad, but learning about the natives would allow us to stop being afraid of them and to see them.
I must leave you. How did you know that those missionaries were lying? After all, given the situation, your mother could have wanted to form an alliance.
I knew my mother well. We were close. She would never have renounced her beliefs to forge an alliance.
I think I understand. Your island, your culture, and your faith are so closely tied that you cannot renounce one without renouncing the others.
Exactly. The Earth talks to us because we believe in it, in its spirits. Without these beliefs, we would be but empty shells. Our mother would never have wanted that for us. I am happy to see that you understand us so well. Anything else?
What do you intend to do now? Will you become the Doneigad of your clan again?
I will most likely do it, but not now. I still have a lot to discover by your side.
I'm very glad to be able to enjoy your presence a while longer.
Thank you for your kindness on Almanawi. I am also happy to be with you too. Anything else?
Why are you and your sister so different?
If you're talking about physical differences, they're linked to the fact that Iseld is not on Almanawi. When we were little, we were perfectly identical. But our tempers were always different.
What kind of child were you?
I suppose I was very curious and studious. I loved when our father taught me the name of some plants and how they could be used.
And you haven't changed? Isn't it out of the same curiosity that you chose to follow me?
At first, perhaps. But the more I know you, the more I find other reasons to stay with you. Anything else?
I've never heard you talk about your father.
He was the Doneigad of Awad.
What happened to him?
He was killed as he tried to escape the lions who wanted to capture him. My mother never really recovered from it. This is one of the reasons why she decided to go. Anything else?
I must leave you.
Dr. Honor, what do you want?
What is your role and what is your research topic?
I'm in charge of the governor's laboratories. My main research concerns the Malachor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
Searched.
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope of finding a cure.
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work do not concern you?
He will be judged for that. But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for nothing.
What do you think of Dr. Asili now that you've learned how he conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are unfortunate, but he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And he was probably acting on behalf of our helplessness to combat the Malachor.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So are you ready to defend a man who used to torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed. because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying the only problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city, but let's not fool ourselves. No tears will be shed over the fate of a few of those bloodthirsty savages.
Afra, did you have something to say to Dr. Honor?
Thank you, Desade. I feel it is my duty to warn him. You probably know that I was one of Dr. Asili's students.
Naturally. It is undoubtedly under his influence that you have developed this remarkable...
Perhaps. But my analytical mind also pushed me to refuse to continue working. I saw his madness and cruelty grow deeper. And we must condemn him, not only so he can pay, but to free science from these kinds...
Very well. You've convinced me. It is true that it's time to turn the page and...
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Honor is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges.
Alright, now... Oh. There's more people here. What the hell?
I never thought I'd see you here again. Why are you still free?
Dr. Honor made sure that I was set free. He needed my help. What do you want?
What is your purpose here?
I helped Dr. Honor to understand the research of my... He's the one who became his...
I do hope that he doesn't use the same method.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues?
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He is... was. They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war again... Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they...
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do
So? What is it?
It is a quintessence of black blood. Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to... With the quantities that you brought me. It's terrifying. Here, these are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments, as well as my...
Thank you. I will relay them. Are you prepared to testify against...
I would like to say no. You had me thrown in prison, and without Dr. Honor's intervention, I would... But I can't stop thinking about what I think only by testifying.
Thank you. Your story could change the... I must leave you.
Okay.
Is everything all right?
Once again, thanks to you. These people wanted to kill me.
They certainly wanted to prevent you from testifying at the doctor's trial.
The doctor will be judged. I suppose you'd like me to testify about how we suffered.
Indeed. If you do not fear another attempt...
Don't worry. I won't from now on. My people will watch, and I intend to witness the execution of our torturer.
Thank you. Your word will be...
Okay. Alright, what now? What now? Meet with the survivors in... Oh, where is that? Alright. Alright, let's talk to these people.
Hey! You are the Onol Menawi who freed us. We managed to reach Vikshaadir.
They told me what you did for them, Renaikse. Well done. I was able to give them the care they needed. Some wounds will take time to heal, but they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No. I came to ask for your help. The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He's a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And the Mad Lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
May the earth engulf him. You can return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Tiernahar. And thank you all. I blame myself for forcing these poor people back to the city where they have suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
Ignore. I think I was originally from the congregation, but I have no memory of my family. I took my first steps on the deck of a ship. That's all I can remember. Did you want anything else?
I must leave you.
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
A Nort victim of Dr. Asili agreed to testify at the trial.
Excellent. This kind of testimony will certainly rattle his defense.
The Islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed. But do bear in mind that the Islanders are not highly regarded in Hikmet.
I managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent. These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they...
Afra, one of Dr. Asili's former students, has agreed to testify.
Excellent. This woman is very respected by the governor. Her statement will carry a lot of weight.
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor. It seems that less than a pinch of this powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it. There's enough here to make a small...
A terrifying thought. I will add the analysis and this powder to the evidence on record. You have gathered overwhelming evidence. The defense will have a hard time saving the accused. I think we can go to trial with confidence now.
Will the trial begin soon?
It seems to be the right time. Excellent I think we have every chance.
Where will the trial be held?
At the palace. I regret to inform you that you... However, I'm sure the governor will keep you...
Madame, congratulations. The trial was exemplary. Asili's madness was exposed to the entire world. And you have demonstrated the horror of his methods.
Thank you, Excellency. But all praise should be showered upon Sir Desade. The evidence he supplied was irrefutable.
It was necessary that you hear the victims, in order to understand the extremities to which your science has taken you.
Come now. One cannot conclude that science was guilty here.
Not science, but the savants were. It is never right to set aside humanity in the name of the common good. No knowledge justifies killing or torture.
Your words are wise, and I promise to remember them.
You have not always shown yourself a man of impeccable judgment, Excellency.
We are all, from time to time, victim of our own blind enthusiasm, that is true. But this trial has shaken my usual resolve. It may very well change the course of history.
Afra, are you certain that you want to attend this?
I do not want to attend. I must.
Dr. Asili, you have been found guilty of all accusations brought against you. In consequence, the Bridge Alliance Tribunal condemns you to death. Do you have any final words?
You treat me like a monster. But how many times have you stayed your own hands? So close to the goal to finally find a remedy, you would have done as I. What do a few lives mean when the future of all humanity hangs in the balance? You are nothing more than idiots, incompetents, and you, Baron, are the greatest hypocrite of all. You know that I am right.
Executioner, earn your pay.
You know that I am right.
Damn.
Desade, I'm happy to see you. Can I do anything for you?
I'm asleep.
Alright. So that's the main mission. Let's do the main mission now. Whew. That was quite hard.